Shore is strange, at least sometimes and usually after a storm. Beachcombers often can't believe their eyes or noses when encountering some of Neptune's more notable washed-up castoffs, and even scientists can be befuddled on first impression. Like most UFOs, there's always an explanation for the apparently unexplainable. It's up to you, however, if you choose to believe it. The Kivalina Strain. The remote native community of Kivalina on the Chukchi Sea shore in northwestern Alaska isn't the first place one might expect an alien invasion, but on August 3, 2011, that's exactly what happened. Rolling onto the beach for miles around, the first wave was not made of little green men, but little orange spores, billions of them. The tiny orange spheres turned out to be fungal spores, of a type of plant rust to be exact. Who knew plants could rust? Anyway, it's a good thing those who assumed the bloom was made up of crab eggs or some other form of sea life waited for scientists to determine the precise nature of the orange goo before slathering it on their sushi. Storm Sturgeon. Something was fishy about the so-called nightmarish Lovecraftian sea monster that washed ashore on South Carolina's Folly Beach in March of 2012. Or maybe that was just the aroma carried by the sea breeze. It certainly wasn't the look of this thing, which appeared to have time-traveled from the age of the dinosaurs. A local vet identified the scaly, scoot-covered corpse to be a wayward Atlantic sturgeon, a fish that can grow up to 15 feet long, weigh as much as 800 pounds, and hasn't really changed much since the species originated around 100 million years ago. Great old ones indeed. Montauk Monster. No list of washed-up creatures would be complete without mention of the first Montauk Monster. Reports of the ferocious-looking carcass originated from far eastern Long Island, New York, in July of 2008 and exploded onto the internet shortly thereafter. Although DOA when it hit the popular Ditch Plains beach, the creature lives on in pop culture and has even been the subject of a beautiful yet disturbing painting by Dan Lacey. 4 years after its discovery, speculation still abounds over the creature's origin, identity, and even its whereabouts. Headless creature. This subject is a headless creature, 15 feet long, 10 feet of which form a tapering tail. Officials of Canada's Department of Fisheries and Oceans haven't disclosed the nature of the creature that washed ashore in February of 2010. While they're waiting for the head to turn up, we suggest they pass the time reading The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. Opa. That's Opa. And although this big beached beauty may look somewhat satanic, the lower reaches it hails from aren't hellish in the least. Known variously as sunfish, moonfish, or kingfish, these deep ocean fish are rarely seen even when biologists and anglers are looking for them. It looked like it was from another planet, stated Scott Williams, a local surfer who discovered the massive fish being battered by waves one morning in October of 2010, just off the coast of San Diego. It's estimated the manhole-sized 100-pound Opa would bring $12 per pound if sold at market prices. But being that it was a fish out of water, literally, eating it might not be advisable. Mysterious blob. Not much happens in Temuka, a town of just over 4,000 located on the eastern coast of New Zealand's South Island. But all that changed on October 28, 2009, when the aliens landed, according to Rose Fraser, who came across it while walking along Temuka Beach. At first, he thought that this is an alien. Scientific analysis soon proved his conjecture a mite ambitious, identifying the mysterious blob instead as the top of a sperm whale's head. Purple storm snails. Purple storm snails are rarely seen anywhere but washed up on a beach. These exquisitely beautiful gastropods have paper-thin shells and blow bubble rafts of transparent chitin to keep them afloat on the ocean surface. They acquired their colloquial name from their propensity to being blown onto beaches by strong storm winds. Monster from Russia. This creature was found by soldiers stationed on Russia's far eastern island territory of Sakhalin in 2006. Sakhalin, by the way, is about 5,000 miles east of Moscow. Once the story broke, Russian special service personnel quickly removed the remains from the beach for in-depth studies, though over 5 years later, not a peep has been heard from them. Independent observers working from photos taken and transmitted before the FSS put a bear hug on further reporting noticed similarities between the washed-up creature's skull and skeleton to those of orca and beluga whales, the latter of which are rather populous in the waters off Sakhalin. Bigfoot. Just when you thought it was safe to go back in the water, it is safe in the water. Just stay off the beach. Okay. The only danger posed by the toothy creation above is potentially stubbing one's toe on it. And by creation, we don't mean it in the biblical sense. Tampa Bay artist Juan Cabana conceived, composed, and posed the purported sea monster as one of his Sea Mystery series of mythical creatures, monsters, mermaids, and aliens. The ferocious fish beast above was auctioned off at eBay by Cabana in June 2006. And any image seen on the internet is derived from the photos Cabana included in the auction description. Salish Sea human foot discoveries. The thrill of victory and the agony of the feet, the latter of which were washing ashore along the Canadian and American Pacific Northwest coast so often, authorities were wondering what in the wide world of sports was going on. Just whose feet were they? And where were the rest of the bodies? The so-called Salish Sea human foot discoveries date from August of 2007, and as of early 2012, 14 beached feet have been recovered, plus a hoax foot, consisting of an animal paw stuffed into a shoe. To date, less than half of the feet on the beach have been identified, though the case offers some tantalizing clues. One commonality revolves around the shoes holding the remains. Most were made and sold before 2004, prompting some to wonder if victims, or parts thereof, of the 2004 Asian tsunami were directed to the Salish Sea Islands by ocean currents. So, are you up for a nice, peaceful walk on the beach? Or does the possibility of stumbling across something unexpected make you want to wave it off? One thing you should know: from whales to snails and fish to feet, things washed up on the shore have all seen better days. So, stow away your fears and enjoy nature's bounty. Thank you for watching.